My childhood friend is a cold, aloof little crybaby. She has a little cherished wish list. The contents always leave me laughing and crying at the same time. 1. Earn a little cash through my own hard work. 2. With my little money, marry a boy I'm crazy about. After entering college, tried to encourage her to chase after the campus heartthrob, but he hid under the covers, crying with teary eyes. It wasn't until later that I finally realized that the boy she adored all along was actually my childhood friend, Liu Ruyan. She turned out to be a stunning beauty with a cool, aloof demeanor. Not only did she excel academically, she was also pure and beautiful. Under the moonlight, she was simply breathtaking. Everyone said she was an untouchable beauty with high standards. Because he really didn't talk much, he was extremely aloof. His social circle was very limited. His life was simple. It was just school and home. At most, he only went to music classes. He literally never gave any boy the chance to get closer. Boys who liked him would hand him love letters, but he wouldn't even reply. He would simply take his phone out of his bag with his little hand and quickly type out a message. Sorry, I'm not seeing anyone. And then he turned on his heel and left in style, leaving the boys all confused in the wind. Everyone was curious, asking me, how do you get along with this ice-cold beauty? He was so cold. And when we were together, was it just me doing all the talking non-stop? Or did you not know that behind the scenes, Liu Ruyan wasn't just chatty? She was super enthusiastic towards me, even sending me goodnight texts every day. Liu Ruyan and I have known each other since kindergarten. Our mothers were best friends. Our dads, on the other hand, were old friends in the business world. Our families even lived right across from each other. As kids, he used to cry a lot. We played together all the time. We were practically inseparable. He would push the swing for me, and I would play house with him. We even used to build sandcastles downstairs. Whenever I got upset, and told him sternly, I'll never play with you again. Want? His big round eyes would droop down, looking so innocent and red with tears. Before long, he'd be crying pitifully. Even though he was the one crying, he'd choke up trying to comfort me. He'd awkwardly pat my Xiao Da, can I be your little wife? With pitiful eyes, he stared at that fashionable wig, and tentatively asked if it was alright with me. Xiao Da, Liu Ruyan. Want? He looked at my expression so cautiously, afraid I might get mad again. I immediately changed my look, swapping anger for delight. So, albeit reluctantly, I agreed to let you be my little wife just this once. The hardest time Liu Ruyan ever cried was back in first grade. We were moving, because grandma's legs weren't what they used to be, and the apartment had no elevator. Our parents were forced into it, with no choice but to move. We moved from the 7th floor of the building right across from Liu Ruyan's place, to the first floor of the same building. Somehow, Wu Yuan found out about this, and rushed over to my house to block the door. She was crying like a little crybaby, wiping her tears and asking if I would forget him. I was a bit stunned, just about to say, aren't we still in the same building? Why get so sentimental? Before I could even finish my sentence, he blurted out, it's okay. I'll come down to see you on my own. He kept turning back to remind me, telling me not to play with that chubby little girl downstairs. In the end, he even gave me my favorite Doraemon doll. As a parting gift, Liu Ruyan's looks were already the pinnacle of beauty, but her life aspirations were remarkably plain and unadorned. Make money and find a husband. That's how I sum up her dream. Her dream started when she was 7. It had taken deep root in her very being. In Liu Ruyan's bedroom, there was an enormous Doraemon piggy bank. It was placed right by her bed. She put in all the little change she saved up, the red envelopes her parents usually gave her, and all the pocket money she earned doing chores. She had filled it up quite a bit. Then, one day, I went to her bedroom to play. After a while of playing, I got a bit tired. In the blink of an eye, I noticed her eye-catching piggy bank. My curiosity was instantly piqued. I walked over and boldly asked her, Liu Ruyan, how much money have you saved up now? Before my hand could even reach it, she had already lifted her little short legs and marched toward me in a fierce manner. She gave my hand a slap. Her tone was extremely fierce. Don't touch it. If you won't let me see it, then I won't look. I sat on the sofa, hugging a pillow, feeling quite pouty. She came over looking rather helpless, sat next to me, and very seriously explained to me, that's for my future husband. Finding a husband is such a big deal, huh? That made me even angrier. She smiled at me in an overly indulgent way. Then she pulled out 20 yuan from the piggy bank, waving her hand grandly. She said, all right, take it and go buy something spicy. Yeah, I laughed happily like a total goof. Later, the two of us got into the same 985 university. Back in high school, we weren't in the same class. She studied liberal arts, while I studied science, though my grades were only just a little lower than hers. Even if our scores were similar, 985 is top-notch. With so many schools out there, it was almost miraculous that we ended up at the same university. Liu Ruyan and she would call it a destined fate. Nonsense, I said as I looked up at her. Did you secretly peek at my college choices? She just smiled, without answering. Instead, she reached out and pinched mine. Hey, what are you doing? I pouted in anger and protest. The young girl beamed radiantly in the sunlight, and her hand that was pinching my face wouldn't let go. She really is so beautiful. All right, I gave in. In the end, I had to lower my head and complain. My face is puffed up from you pinching it, and it's even getting bigger. You have to be responsible for that. All right, I'll take responsibility. Liu Ruyan bent over, fixing her gaze on me as she smiled. Thanks to Liu Ruyan's unbelievably striking face, and with her super high beauty, she quickly became famous at school. She was promptly posted on the confession wall, and was unanimously hailed as the campus beauty. Wherever she went, she drew attention. Back when we were in school, I could happily walk alongside her, and no one ever bothered us even if we goofed around. But now I dare not. I'm afraid it might spark gossip. Liu Ruyan was exceptionally talented in music. At one musical performance, the stage and its surroundings were completely packed with her adoring fans. That day I was idly scrolling through videos in my dorm, when suddenly someone shouted, beautiful, and my dorm brothers went into a frenzy. They excitedly ran around spreading the news. Hey, do you think your childhood campus beauty might be with the campus hunk Zhou Yan? There's really something about it. Zhou Yan is the stylish male idol at your college. University recognizes the campus heartthrob, as also the captain of the guitar team. A confession between a handsome guy and a beautiful girl. Fans are shipping them left and right, even photoshopping their pictures together. My dorm buddies pushed the phone right in front of me. The photo shows Liu Ruyan and Zhou Yan together. Liu Ruyan seems to have just finished a musical performance. Zhou Yan is tidying up her instruments. In the picture, the guy has fair skin, head's tall, which makes the gorgeous campus beauty look even more delicate and sweet. The two of them, just now, the beautiful girl bathed in sunlight, looked as if she were starring in a youth idol drama. Somebody must have captured that moment. The confession wall instantly exploded. Onlookers started heckling. Together. I could as well stay single forever, but I'm totally rooting for the pairing. Make sure they stay together, alright? Oh my, is this the cool campus beauty versus the charismatic campus heartthrob in shipping? Studying or getting served dog food? Who understands the plight of a perennial single? Looking at such a delightful scene, I'm completely hyped about their pairing now. Thinking of the fortune Liu Ruyan has been saving since she was 7. I, Miyamoto, passionately commented. The campus heartthrob married the campus beauty. Want? No sooner had I sent it than the campus beauty Liu Ruyan herself sent me a WeChat message. Tell me what you just said again. She even attached an incredibly angry emoji. I didn't realize how serious the situation was. I jokingly repeated that phrase. The campus heartthrob married the campus beauty. Want? You're out of line. Want? Liu Ruyan sent me a voice message. Her voice was a bit choked up. Listen, did I carefully ask Liu Ruyan? Are you crying again? This time, he didn't send a voice message. He decisively typed out 2 words. No, he retorted. And then, as if trying to cover it up, he shamelessly added, I'm not a crybaby. Past experiences have taught me That Lu Ruyan must have cried again. I could easily make him cry. Back when I was in high school, I didn't have time for breakfast that morning. My stomach was growling with hunger. After class, Lu Ruyan bought me a bunch of food. She bought way too much. I couldn't possibly finish it. My doormate, known as Pig, is a girl, and she didn't have breakfast either. She stared at me longingly. I kindly shared some with her. But Lu Ruyan got upset. After school, she wore a bitter look and kept a distance of 3 meters from me. What's wrong? I stubbornly didn't follow her. I tugged at his pant hem. It's okay, he said as he wiped away a tear. His eyes were red. Weren't they yours? Your leg didn't hurt earlier, but now it aches a bit. I asked with concern. In the afternoon, Lu Ruyan went to fetch water and saw several spirited campus girls shamelessly bullying a new female classmate. Without a second thought, he heroically rescued the classmate, taking on 3 of them, and left that group of girls utterly subdued, but ended up with only minor injuries. After getting kicked by the ringleader, the classmates all said, "Our class monitor is not only cool and top of the class, but also has real strength and a sense of justice." What? Not to mention, Lu Ruyan's dad is a black belt and has been meticulously training his adorable daughter since childhood, so she wouldn't be bullied. I have no idea how tough that must have been. How did he manage to keep going? I was like a little tail. I kept trailing behind him, asking questions. After all my constant questioning, he finally lost his patience. He stopped in his tracks. When he looked at me, tears just started streaming down his face. Why did you give me the breakfast I bought for you away to someone else? And to boot to a girl? What's wrong? Is it okay if I share my unfinished food with a classmate? After all, even classmates are divided by gender. I calmly tried to reason with her. Didn't you say that classmates should help each other? When you were the class monitor, weren't you the one saying, "Isn't that what you proclaimed on stage?" I felt he was just trying to pick a fight. The more he spoke, the more agitated he got. No matter how much he argued, he couldn't win against me. Seeing my indifferent look, he got extremely angry. On his way home, he slammed the door with loud bangs. I ignored him, even on my way home. I quickly forgot all about it. I turned on the TV to watch a soap opera, and I was really enjoying it. Soon enough, he sent me a WeChat message. He said I hadn't eaten today because I was mad at you. He felt extremely wronged. You know what? You even shouted at me today. Now I have to defend myself. I didn't shout at you. I just spoke a bit louder, alright? Then I switched to sending a voice message. My warm voice came off a little husky. So, won't you comfort me? I'm absolutely certain. Lu Ruyan got mad because, for once, she actually messaged me, saying she wouldn't come home with me today. He even had the family driver take me home. Lu Ruyan and I both live in the capital. There are plenty of good universities in the capital. The school we attend is very close to home. It only takes about 20 minutes to get there. Last weekend, Lu Ruyan mysteriously told me that today she was going to take me somewhere, and then we'd go home together. But in the end, I ended up making him angry. Our home is so close, so I replied to him on WeChat. I'll go back by myself. There's no need for the driver to pick me up. I'm not a 3-year-old kid. I am a real man, after all. His reply was instantaneous. You could tell from his tone that he was uncompromising and firm. The driver had already arrived. Don't be stubborn with me. It's not safe on the road. Good grief, even when he's angry, he doesn't forget to worry about my safety. So I had no choice but to comply. I took a ride back home with his family's driver. After arriving home, I had just taken out my keys, not even having put them in the lock, when my mom opened the door from inside. So mysterious. She giggled as she pulled me inside. She immediately said, "Why did you make little Jan cry again?" How miserably he cried when he got home. His eyes were so puffy from crying, just like a pair of walnuts. When he saw me, he wiped away his tears, trying hard to act brave. He bowed politely, greeting me. He even showed concern for me, asking if I'd had lunch. That really broke my heart. Mom, I'm not innocent. I feel even more wrong than do. Instead, you immediately say that I made her cry. My mom, at a loss for words, pinched me and said, "Now explain it to me. Besides you, what else is there in this world? Who has the nerve to make him cry?" Those words leave me speechless. My mom was heartbroken. She kept shoving me out the door. Her face was full of worry. "Hurry up and go check on Jiaoyan. Her parents aren't home today. What if she ends up crying herself to death all alone?" Ah, I've never heard of that. They even say there's a way to die from crying. My mom didn't even bother to mess around. She just kicked me right out. "Hurry up and go. Where's all this nonsense coming from?" Boo-hoo, who is my real parent anyway? I went to Lu Ruyan's place. I knocked on the door but got no response. I had no choice but to. I used the door code to get in. Our families have been so close that we've shared house passwords for ages. I walked inside. The house was eerily quiet. Lu Ruyan's dorm room door was wide open. I looked up from afar and saw him lying on the bed. He was curled up like a little cat, with a blanket covering his head, and I could faintly hear sniffles coming intermittently from inside the room. I stood outside and knocked on the door. "Li Ruyan," I called, but he didn't answer. "Lu Ruyan, may I come in?" Still, he didn't respond. "All right then, you'll just leave now." I moved over to the bed. The big softy on the bed instinctively shifted to the right, as if he didn't want me to see him cry. I smirked slightly, thinking how adorable he is. I struggled to keep my smile in check. Poke, poke. On the back of his head, I prodded. "Lu Ruyan, what's wrong? Are you crying?" Still, out of sheer pride, he insisted. I'm not. Want? Then I'm going to see for myself." I held back my laughter and reached out to tug at the tuft on his head. The first time he resisted from inside. He wouldn't let me see. I'm not that strong. I couldn't pull him at all. After 2 failed tugs, I gave up and had to resort to an old trick. I pretended to leave, acting mischievously to scare him. "In leaving then, I don't care about you. Cry all you want." I teased, and sure enough, my little crybaby under the blanket fell for it immediately. His hair was a bit disheveled hanging over his forehead, and his jawline was sharply defined. I looked up at him, shocked by his expression. Oh my goodness. How long must he have been crying to look like this? Those normally mesmerizing peach blossom eyes were swollen from tears, and his double eyelids had practically turned triple. Lu Ruyan was wearing a pink hoodie, and sporting an incredibly charming smile. With a tear-streaked face, he cried out to me. "See, Boda, you really are too mean. Want? Boo-hoo, it's always like this." He was crying inconsolably, and it had me laughing so hard. I don't know why, but every time I see him cry, I can't help but laugh, and even get a few mischievous ideas. He's so delicate, I just want to get my hands on him, make him cry even harder. Even as I laughed, he looked at me and smiled, only to start crying even more fiercely. I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. I held my laughter in while waving both hands. I'm not laughing anymore. Sorry, please go ahead. Lu Ruyan appears to be hurt. An enormous grievance. Her torrential crying just wouldn't stop. Her little mouth was babbling. "I just think you're whining. You're being too harsh." He was crying while wiping his tears. "Why would you say that about me? What did I say?" "The person herself insists she's completely out of it." Cried Lu Ruyan, crying. "You pushed me into getting together with Joe Yan." "Ah, I saw that." I was incredibly upset. Then she dabbed her tears again. She cried so much that her words became incomprehensible. Her tearful gaze met mine, and even her nose turned red. Her eyelashes trembled slightly. It made me feel like you don't care at all. And also, when you got back today, you were still squatting downstairs scrolling through videos. The pretty girl was laughing so happily, and she didn't come to see me right away. I saw it all. Li Ruyan covered her face with both hands. She cried uncontrollably. I felt so sad. Really? I feel like I'm not even Li Ruyan anymore. Ha ha ha. I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. Man, hold back your laughter. It really hurts. Sorry, I just couldn't hold it in. His eyes were droopy, like a little wife. The tears just wouldn't stop. I pinched my thigh. I solemnly apologized to him. Sorry. I won't joke around next time. I won't watch pretty girls in front of you anymore. Will you forgive me this time? I thought this would be over by now. But then Lee Ruyan turned out to be a real master of logic. She doesn't play by the book. Not in front of me. Does that mean you'll watch him cry behind my back? Numb. Stop crying, look, I want to sit next to him. He moved over on his own. His eyes got a bit misty. He patted the bed beside him. Come on, sit up, you'll sit beside him. He patted his back. Flag started talking right away. Then I won't watch anymore, okay? I'm always worried he won't get enough in one go. Crying so hard, what if word gets out that the 175 University campus beauty cried herself to death at home? I picked up the hot water from the table and handed it to him. Have some water first. To rehydrate a bit. I said I don't want it, but he still insists. Alright then, if you don't want it, then you don't. I hadn't even put down my cup. Then his high-pitched cute voice came again. His tone was so full of grievance. That was how he felt. And here I am like this. Can't you feed me a little? I feel completely at his mercy. I gritted my teeth. I fed water into his mouth. His mouth opened. I started feeding him water. He stared at me as if he were in a daze. He looked at me so bashful. My ears turned red. A quick glance revealed that even the tips of his ears were subtly turning red. Could it be that Ace shy too? I don't know when, but his head just naturally leaned on my shoulder. I know I was wrong. I won't dare to do it next time, alright? The school heartthrob isn't your type. I get it now. I don't like how he takes control when asking me. Then what kind of girls do you like? I answered off the cuff. I don't know anyway. I don't like girls who cry too much, or who are overly dramatic. No sooner had I said that, than the tears I had so painstakingly sealed away with cement burst forth like a breached dam. He lowered his head, watching my tears begin to flow. I started crying uncontrollably. Jai Bo replied, I'm exactly the type you like. Ah, shouldn't you listen to what you're saying? He emphasized again. I hardly cried at all. Then he added, you can go ahead and hit on my mom a few times. Good grief, are you confessing to me? I tend to jump to conclusions easily. After hearing that, my face and neck flushed bright red. It was so awkward that I quickly changed the subject completely. Hey, Liu Ruyan, where did the money in your piggy bank go? Last time we went to his room, the money was piled up so high it nearly spilled out. He wiped his tears and said, no, it's fine. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. I didn't take you out today. Apologetically. I'll take you out tomorrow then. Then in an immature tone, he linked pinky promises with me, saying, if I don't go see him tomorrow, then call me little kitty. But today you stood me up. I felt like he was just twisting the knife. The girl suddenly pounced into my arms, wrapping her arms around my waist. So, I was the little kitty. Her sweet, angelic face looked right at me, and my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I really can't stand beautiful women who have no sense of boundaries. Don't try to knock me out with your looks. The next morning, I went with my mom to the market to buy groceries, carrying about a kilogram of pork. I hummed a little tune as I passed the alley entrance. By chance I saw a couple of troubled teens surrounding a delicate little guy, snatching his money. I took a closer look, and it turned out to be the school heartthrob. He was dressed in a sharp Armani suit, clutching his wallet tightly. Then a blonde, nonchalant teenager strolled over, cornering him against the wall. He barked, hand over the money. Now, don't dawdle, you don't want to lose a few chunks of muscle, do you? I couldn't believe that in broad daylight, someone would dare snatch money. My blood pressure shot up immediately. I swung the pack of pork, smashing it right into his neck. Who the heck is that punk from the net cafe? The delinquent grimaced in pain as he covered his injured neck, turning his head to look over, his eyes filled with disdain. I launched a flying kick, just like Leo, with a resounding smack. He hit the ground. Lying there, he was writhing in agony. The school heartthrob, as if seeing a savior, grabbed my hand. His voice trembling slightly as he said, hey kid, step aside. Another bald thug, his face full of disdain, sneered, here comes another idiot begging for a beatdown. I was clearly just dealing with scum. Without wasting any time, I started slapping him repeatedly. The guy on the ground, who hadn't even gotten up yet, was sent flying with my smack. What's with these little punks? Acting up at such a young age. In no time at all, I knocked them all down. After all, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo too. Now it was finally paying off. Back in my childhood, that guy Liu Ruyan was on his own. When he learned Taekwondo, he insisted on dragging me along. If he weren't always by my side, I could have learned it for self-defense too. I used to think he was full of nonsense. But now I consider him a genius. Just you wait till the gang leader with his face swollen from a slap comes at me with threats. Before my slap could even land, those little brats ran faster than anyone. I chased them off. Don't worry, kid. I brushed the dust off my body, dismissing any talk of reputation. Thank you. The school heartthrob meekly thanked me. You're just as enchanting as ever. I felt a bit proud. It's nothing. Still going on? I asked him, are you here looking for Liu Ruyan? The school heartthrob showing up in this area at this hour forced me to come up with that excuse. No, he looked all embarrassed. I'm here to see Shen Yuchu, he said. Shen Yuchu, the campus beauty of that neighboring 985 university. Just a 5-minute walk from their school. I paused to think, then suddenly realized and said, but wait, aren't you into Liu Ruyan? The school heartthrob's expression was very earnest. Yes, but must I only like one beauty? I can like several at the same time. Wow, my outlook suddenly expanded completely. I gave him a thumbs up. Indeed, I patted him on the shoulder to show my full agreement. We're kindred spirits. Thinking back over my 18 years of life, I haven't been short on beautiful women. Yet only one person ended up with a broken heart, and that was Liu Ruyan. She has cried her heart out so many times. Many of those tears were shed just because I love admiring beauty. After a long pause, the school heartthrob pulled me aside, and looking wildly flustered around to make sure no one was near, he whispered in my ear, "You're clearly mine. Let me tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else." I nodded. He paused for a moment. When I heard that, my eyes went wide. I looked at her, a question slowly forming in my mind. You can tell, classmate. She, with a pouting, serious air, must be complaining, right? Isn't she beautiful? Has a great figure. Yet, we can't have her. Isn't that the very definition of a scumbag? That does make some sense. The school heartthrob continued. Let me tell you, she already liked someone. When I confessed to her last week, she told me personally. The school heartthrob. I took out my phone and flipped through some photos, pointing at the screen. This is a photo of Liu Ruyan and me from kindergarten. That day, Liu Ruyan showed me a picture of a corpse. While she wasn't looking, I secretly snapped a photo. She said she had someone she liked, her childhood sweetheart. The school heartthrob recounted it matter-of-factly. But as I listened, my heart pounded like thunder. My mind just exploded like fireworks. I was utterly shocked. Are you sure he meant this childhood sweetheart? I pointed at the photo and confirmed, yes, school heartthrob. Seeing my face full of disbelief, then noticing how I was staring fixedly at the phone screen, he said, hey, you've got it all wrong. The one on the left wearing the blue padded jacket, the one crying with a runny nose, is Liu Ruyan. The school heartthrob said with a smile. Didn't see that coming, right? He usually appears so cool and detached. Actually, deep down, he's a crybaby. He glanced at the photo, and then looked at my face. Hey, wait a minute. No, that's not right. This little boy next to you looks just like you. I'm really amazed by that sly guy. Could it really be? Either shower or the school heartthrob was shocked. You mean, you're his childhood sweetheart? He patted my shoulder. Clearly, he also likes Liu Ruyan. I instantly got hooked on their pairing. Coon exclaimed. Really? Oh my god. You know what? When I read novels, my favorite trope is the childhood sweetheart storyline like yours. So, are you two together? Have you even kissed? Or maybe add me to your group chat? I'm definitely not saying a word. Pay up. Can I watch you two dating? School heartthrob, my friend. Calm down now. We're just friends for now. Oh damn, he grabbed my hand. And my heart fluttered even more. So you two are like the ultimate mutual secret crush childhood sweethearts, straight out of a romance novel. This school heartthrob. I ask you to stay calm. But he isn't wrong. Actually, I've had a secret crush on Liu Ruyan for a long time. I don't even know when I started liking him. I suppose it's more about the bond built over time. After all, I've never believed in love at first sight. I'm someone who values slow developing relationships. Back before I moved. We moved twice. And I really liked it. The meat buns old Mrs. Huang sold on the corner. And the other in the west. They were so far apart. Almost every weekend, Liu or Rian would travel miles just to buy them for me. Since he'd always end up making her cry. Yet he'd still go back the next time. He'd cry, sniffling as he told me, "Isn't that love? As long as you like it." When I was sick, I opened my eyes, and the first person I saw was him. I don't like taking medicine. He wore a look of grievance on his face, crying as he fed me, making sure I took my medicine obediently. So many memories. Before I knew it, those happy ones, and the sad memories. It seemed she was part of every major phase of my life. How could I not love her? Because I hate seeing girls cry. But aside from her, my affection for Liu Ruyan kept swirling in my heart. I absent-mindedly had a meal at home, and then headed to school. Liu Ruyan, go find him in the lounge. There's a big music performance coming up, and he's become the lead performer. So the combination of singing and dancing is really tough. They're training intensively. There was no one in the lounge. Liu Ruyan, are you there? Come in, girl. A beautiful low note drifted from inside. I walked in without a second thought. Liu Ruyan had just changed out of her stage outfit, with white knee-high socks, paired with a white miniskirt, which accentuated her figure and charm to the fullest. She looked incredibly sweet. Look over there, you. Liu Ruyan had her hands in her pockets. Her adoring gaze turned toward me. It was nothing. I was completely dumbstruck. My soul was drifting away. What a great figure. Zeboda, why are you nosebleeding again? One word from him snapped me back to reality. He ran over in a hurry. He grabbed my neck. Ji Yan said in a stern tone. Look up, it'll take you to get cleaned up. Great, I've managed to climax in front of him once again. Why do you get nosebleeds so often? I feel so undeservedly like crying. Both nostrils are stuffed with crumpled tissue. What do you mean by I love you? I was already irresistibly enchanting. How can I possibly control it? The girl laughed. Just looking at me gives you a nosebleed. Do you like me or what? How bold of you to ask that. I also turned the tables the way he did before. So, do you like me too? Her clear gaze instantly turned flirtatious. She reached out and ran her fingers through my hair. So tender. Absolutely tender. I really love it. I feel like crying. Love me. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Before I knew it, tears started falling. I could have openly ogled her figure. Yet I held back until now. Just thinking about it makes me feel cheated. Don't cry, Liu Ruyan. Look at me. If you cry, I'll cry too. He suddenly threw himself into my arms. It's all my fault. Alright, I had planned to take you to see our wedding apartment yesterday. But you ended up getting mad at me about it. I looked down at him. Yeah, I bought a wedding apartment using money I've been saving since kindergarten. It's right across from your favorite Kwaihu Street. I pulled the curtains aside, and you can see the lake across the street. I had planned to confess my feelings to you there yesterday, knowing you don't like flowers. I only bought one. With the remaining money, I even got you an Alienware desktop. No wonder all the money in the piggy bank has vanished, and I even bought that Alienware desktop. I feel like crying even more, wiping the tears from the corner of my eyes. But what if I hadn't agreed? Don't cry. Your tears break my heart. He helped wipe away my tears, even as he was bawling uncontrollably himself. His voice was warm and soothing. If you don't agree, then just keep chasing. Keep chasing, no matter what. After all, there aren't any other girls by your side. Hey, that made me feel awful. It felt like I was unwanted. I said, weren't those girls scared off by you? Liu Ruyan once again lunged into my arms. I'm jealous. We were getting all lovey-dovey. Suddenly at the door, I heard one of his teammates speak. Captain, are you really not going to the victory party? And not going? Liu Ruyan was adamant. I know their team won the championship this time. There will be a celebration. But I didn't realize it was today. But I want to go. I'm going. Hurry up, they'll be right there, replied the teammate exasperated. Since when did you become two-faced? At the victory party, Liu Ruyan took my hand and led me inside. It was jam-packed with girls. It made even me, the renowned shooter, feel a bit bashful. Wow, what's going on here? Captain, this is like the iron tree finally blooming. Congratulations, Captain. Your years of secret crush have come true. It's a victory party, and we're even forced to be smothered with couples PDA. What kind of world is this? Swam, swam, swam. Liu Ruyan and Nanda's ears have both turned red. Hold my hand a little tighter. Don't scare my husband away. Oh my, even the captain got shy. Absolutely. What a sweet innocent college student. Some people watch to see. Some are being loved. And some even got their right side kicked by a stray dog by the roadside. One word from Liu Ruyan sparked another round of teasing. He pulled me aside and found us a seat. No sooner had we sat down than a delicately featured girl settled to my right. She immediately started chatting as if she already knew me. Bro, you chose our captain. That really is hitting the jackpot. Our captain. She's a true gem among women. Give as much as you want. You'll understand as you get to know her. I remembered all the fancy tricks Liu Ruyan put on for me. With a sniffling laugh, I tried not to giggle. A big thumbs up. Truly cool. No wonder the girls get more and more excited as you talk. Their eyes were sparkling. Our Liu is truly an all-rounder. Whether it's musical instruments or dancing, she handles it all with ease. All of us team members really admire her. We've never seen her fail. I listened as he described the Liu Ruyan in his eyes. Liu Ruyan tossed a napkin over. Oh, come on, that's enough. Who told you to talk to my husband? Jealous, jealous. The captain lost her cool. I'm out. The girl is with Liu Ruyan. Under that piercing look, she silently shifted her chair and moved away from me. Under the table, Liu Ruyan held my hand, whispering in my ear. Don't talk to him. Liu baby, you're so clingy. I couldn't help but exclaim. I held his hand. I gently rubbed at the crook of his thumb. He even pinched my face. Without a word, happiness radiated from his face. Under the table, she kept holding my hand without letting go. After eating for a while, I wasn't sure what happened, but Liu Ruyan's eyes suddenly turned red. The first to notice was the little girl who had just been shooed away by her. The little girl offered him a tissue. She looked rather flustered. Captain, what's wrong? Your eyes are red. Did you get some chili on them? This spicy rabbit dish is really hot. Liu Ruyan remained silent. She shook her head while still holding my hand. She put down her chopsticks. Tears began streaming down, and they lingered. Everyone said they'd never seen a scene like this. The more he talked, the more he cried. Then he just stopped caring altogether. He cried out loud. I felt like I was dreaming. I really ended up with the boy I've liked for so many years. Everyone looked utterly baffled. I recognized this scene. I knew it. I patted Liu Ruyan on the shoulder. Liu, be good and drink some hot water, I said. You all don't need to worry about it, she added. Then we kept eating, and everyone dug in eagerly. Is this still the captain we know? After the meal, Liu Ruyan took me to the new house he bought, leaving his teammates standing in the cold wind, huddled together. I stepped into that house, and felt as if I'd stepped into a painting from my childhood. It was almost identical. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play house with La Rian. I would start by drawing a picture, pretending it was my wedding room. The bridal suite was a 3-bedroom, 12-living-room home. It even had a study. The study was filled with all the books I loved to read. One shelf was dedicated to Jiangxia novels, another to philosophy books, and yet another to history books. Next to the bookshelf, there was a pot of baby's breath, because I really loved that the master bedroom came with a huge walk-in closet, and the duvet cover had to be door-munthened. Above the headboard, there hung a photo of me and my wife. There was even a room set aside as a nursery for our future baby. Liu Ruyan took my hand and led me into the master bedroom. The duvet cover was, of course, Doraemon. When I looked up, I saw the photo above the headboard. It was taken after the college entrance exams when both our parents had taken us on a trip to Shanghai. The two of us stood shoulder to shoulder at the Bund. I remember that day vividly. I even ended up teasing Liu Ruyan, saying she wasn't looking at the camera. In the photo, I was smiling sweetly at the lens, while Liu Ruyan kept her head down, watching my sweet smile. Our adoration practically radiated from the frame, and it turned out that he had been in love with me all along. I was just too clueless to notice. Do you like me? Liu Ruyan asked. I felt so inadequate. I nearly burst into tears. It turned out that the things I said offhand, or the things I casually drew, would be remembered as if engraved deep into one's bones. Noticing my mood was off, he immediately fell into my arms and asked, "Why are you crying again? Why do I always make you cry?" I held him tight, burying his face in my embrace. Then I heard the familiar sound of soft sniffles that wasn't my own. I asked, "Then why are you crying too?" Clearing his throat, he said, "It's because we're so happy. Let's get married as soon as we graduate. I promise to work hard at being a good wife." She tearfully and joyfully made vows to me, while I gently patted her back. Aren't we? Really just two little crybabies? He fell silent for a moment. Then his lips curved into a smile. He cupped my face and kissed me tenderly, gradually deepening the kiss. Both our parents were overjoyed when they found out about our relationship. My dad laughed and said, "Our son has landed such an amazing catch, and it's all thanks to his old man." I remember gritting my teeth, murmuring, "Thanks." Not surprisingly, even Liu Ruyan's mom went all out. They had already gifted me several houses. They took my hand, with earnest advice. "Little dad, you're such a good kid. After you're married, try not to let this little crybaby cry too much." After college, that very night, an anxious Liu Ruyan dragged me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register our marriage. At the wedding, my bride Liu Ruyan looked stunning in her pristine white wedding dress, resembling a pure flake of snow drifting down from the clouds. The radiant bride solemnly walked toward me, her dress's hem flowing like a streaming galaxy, sparkling with delicate glimmers, each step rippling with a dreamlike aura. Before I knew it, we were smiling at each other, though soon enough our smiles turned into tears. Amid the blurred tears, I swear I saw that little crybaby from our childhood waving at me with a smile. Good thing we've always been here, never far away. So, my dear little crybaby, will you marry me? The girl's tears fell drop by drop onto the ground. Amidst everyone's blessings, she resolutely threw herself into the boy's arms and spoke those words.